Today on Getting Real with the Housewives, Cynthia Bailey reveals if she would ever return to the franchise and her thoughts on the new season of Atlanta.
I follow the show kind of, from the clips that I see on Instagram. They show all the, the highlights of what's happening. And every time I watch it, I'm like, woo! Thank you, Jesus.
Erika Jayne is slapped with a $50 million lawsuit as she apologizes to Minkoff. Plus, Hilton teases the Aspen drama, and Kat and Nat Unfiltered podcast hosts and Mom Truth experts. Kat and Nat help us break down all the Housewives drama. We got that plus so much more on today's Getting Real with the Housewives. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here, and I am so excited to be joined by Kat and Nat. They are the hosts of Kat and Nat Unfiltered podcast, authors of Mom Secrets and Mom Truths, and they give us all the mom truths that you guys can handle on their YouTube channel. Kat and Nat, I'm so excited to have you both here. Thanks so much for joining me.
Oh, thanks for having us.
It's going to be so much fun. We're going to run down all the Housewives drama soon. I know that you both are real big Housewives fans, right?
Of course. Who isn't?
It's going to be so great. Do you have a favorite franchise? Kat, do you have a favorite franchise?
I am like a Beverly Hills and an OC girl. Like I kind of like through and through. Although Atlanta, I did go there for a while. That one too, I loved.
Mm-hmm.
And Utah's getting real juicy too. Utah's like that's an unexpected. That is like, I feel like that's also like an uncovering of a world no one knew about. You're like, okay.
I know. I'm like, that's not what I thought the Mormons were like. Now right. I know. What's totally. Behind closed doors.
Nat, do you have a favorite?
I'm so excited to keep watching Dubai, just because I've never been to Dubai, and just watching the world and the wealth and what we thought Dubai was and what they're now uncovering it really is just, it's so juicy. Being able to like have a glimpse into a world that is so different than your own is just, it's like being a fly on the wall. Reality television, watching these women with their marriages, their children, their money, their homes, their vacations. It's a dream come true, really.
It really is. It really is. But before we get into all of the Housewives drama this week, please tell our viewers all about your podcast. I know that you both have been doing it for quite some time, but the Nat and Kat Unfiltered podcast.
We first started our podcast. It was just, the two of us in the car, as we do, with our phone and a recorder, no studio. And we were just chatting. And we started because so many people had just started following us on all of our socials. So we wanted to go back and let them know how it all happened. Because every time we go on tour or we meet anyone, they're like, how did this happen? So we're like, all right, let's do it on the podcast. Mm-hmm. But once we caught up to like present day, there's just so much going on in the world of being a woman, an entrepreneur, a wife, a mother, that we actually decided to do 3 podcasts a week. The first one is really just a cat and nat chat going on with everything that's going on in our world. The things that we tell nobody. It's really like a conversation with 2 best friends, but it's in a public forum, but we tell all of our family and friends, don't listen to it. This is private. And then our second one that we release is always with a fabulous guest.
Most often the Housewives we have on over there.
And then on Fridays, it's all about sex, because we thought there were so many podcasts of like young single people talking about dating and their sexcapades and all of that, when so many of us are actually married and, mothers, and there's so many things that go on in our sex lives, whether it's confessions from the past.
Wait, sorry. So many things that go on in our sex lives. I like that now. So many things.
Sorry,
maybe not ours.
I should probably clarify, these are confessions from our audience. Although often Kat and I just can't help but, put some of our stories in there. Because, when you get going and someone says something, they think they're the only one. And you're like, wait up, hold on. It inspires you to try new things. It entertains you. It educates you. Yeah.
We're done now. We're done now.
I love that so much.
It is. I mean, it's not boring. These married people, after you've been together a while, they start trying new things. I'm telling you. And then when people get separated and divorced, and then they start talking about their brand new sex lives as mature women who know their bodies and what they like. Wow. I'm telling you, Christina, it's a good time.
And Christina, so many things get lost up in orifices. So many lost things. Like you would be so shocked what can be swallowed up all the holes.
All
It's
the
so
holes.
all the holes. It's mind blowing how many people have lost
Oh my
a
God.
big thing. Yeah, it's
I
crazy.
need to start tuning in every Friday. I love that.
Yeah, oh yeah, Fridays are crazy.
Fridays are crazy. And I know that you both are going back on tour in September. Is that right?
Yes, we are. And we just kind of hit all the cities. We're doing Florida, Canada. We are like all over, and you can always find our tour dates. We have a big tour schedule coming up for 2023. And funnily enough, we just left the OC back in January. I don't even know what day, but it was a lot of fun. It was really fun.
You said you've had a lot of housewives on the podcast. Do you have a favorite?
God, we love Heather Dubrow. We love Heather.
do.
But we have a really funny story about Natalie. It's one of her, are you ready for it? It's the funniest story ever. Go ahead, Natalie.
No, you go. So you go ahead.
So, okay, I won't say which one, but we're okay.
That's what I was going to say. Are we going to reveal the name?
So we walk down into the lobby of where we're like meeting them at the one hotel in LA. And we're like looking around for her, and she's asleep on the chair in the middle of the lobby with a mimosa in her hand.
And her feet up on the table.
On the table with her head back in the middle of the one. I don't know if anyone's been to the LA One Hotel, but everyone's working. It's a really creative space. It's like beautiful white chairs, like think Restoration Hardware, but like really beautiful. And she is passed out with a champagne like glass, just like in a fabulous outfit, fabulous hair. And we're like, do we go wake her up? Like, do we tap her on the shoulder? I'm like, what do we do here?
I thought maybe she would be like, well, first of all, I didn't know like if she was going to be like, it was the morning, but I didn't know if maybe she was like passed out, if she was like drunk, whatever. Literally, I just like said her name, and then she opened up like 0 F's given, just like, oh, hi, are we ready?
And she's like, I had some extra time. I thought I'd just close my eyes. Like there was no shame in the game, and we fell in love like right there.
Yeah.
I love that so much. I wish I could find out who that is. I love it. Is it good?
No, is it a bad story? I mean, we could tell you who it was.
No, it's a fantastic story. I love that so much.
I always feel badly saying it though. But okay, what were you going to say, Christina?
I said if Housewives ever did decide to film up in Canada, would you be on board?
I'm just so afraid. Like I first of all, Christina, I'm looking at the house that I have right here, and I don't know if anyone would be super impressed or wanting to see what was going inside my bank account in my house. I think you have to be like, I think part of it is that they're so rich that the majority of the world could never like imagine the jewels, the clothes, the everything. So I don't know how juicy it would be. Also, I don't want to lose my best friend. And I feel like women that start friends there end up enemies. And I don't think that Kat and I can risk that.
No.
We would have to go in as a duo, and then like they would have to always keep us together and never have drama together. We would have to like be like almost like conjoined twins,
like spies, and we'd be like spies. We'd like find out the truth behind it, and then we would have a camera go on us, and we're like, oh, you want to know what really happened?
Yeah.
I'd watch. I would totally tune in. All right. Well, let's break down some of this Housewives news of the week. I would love for you to help me break this down. I'd love to get your opinion because it's all about Erika Jayne all the time. And she was just served with a $50 million lawsuit. I don't know if you saw the video of her arriving at the airport following vacation in Hawaii. She was approached by this woman. The woman said, I just wanted to give you these documents. This is a summons and complaint to serve you. So she accepted the paper. She said, thank you so much. And the lawsuit was filed by Edelson PC, which has been handling the bankruptcy case of Tom Girardi's law firm. So this accuses Erika of 9 charges, including racketeering, conspiracy to commit racketeering, and unlawful business practice and deceit. They also allege that she created that her company was created for the purpose of funneling money from Girardi Keys to benefit Erika. So, I mean, this has been going on for quite some time. I would love to know, do you think that Erika knew what was going on behind closed doors with all this money?
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Go ahead, Kat.
I was going to say, I think a lot of spouses, God, this is so hard to say because I don't know each circumstance, but I feel like if you're a spouse, if there's something, it's like you're too smart to not know what's going on, but maybe you don't want to know. So you don't like, although I don't know what my husband does all day. Like he goes to the office. I have no idea what he does. And actually Nat runs all of our money too. Like she has all of the account. We share an account. She's like, we have to move this. I'm like, okay, sure. Like if we got in trouble, I would be like, I actually I don't even know how to get into our bank account. So she could be doing all these things. So I feel like it really depends on how involved she was behind the scenes, but it sounds like, well, number one, this was not her first, like this has been a lot of lawsuits. Yeah, like this is not the first one. And number two, did she work? Like, was it her company or, you know what I mean? Like there's so many X factors because it's not him. It seems like it's her company. Yeah. So although I do have a company that I have no idea what goes on there either. So it really depends how many people were involved behind the scenes. But if your name's on it, you're kind of responsible, in my opinion. Like the buck falls on you if your name's on it.
Right. I'll never forget when we were growing up and we would watch like those Oprahs where like the husband was doing all this crazy stuff with the money and the wife literally had no idea. But I mean, in this case, it's like, if your life is so fabulous, the bank account looks full, it doesn't seem like quite right, but you turn a blind eye. I think that probably happens all the time. Mm-hmm. Also, if she didn't know at all, she is a amazing Grammy award-winning liar actress. Like, because she really will look, she's looking people dead in the eye saying she had no idea.
Mm-hmm. I think it would be it's just weird that it's like the second lawsuit. Like it's not the first one. Like it feels like this has been a conversation for a long time. So I'm surprised the people around her haven't protected her better to not be in a situation part two where they like didn't clean up the first mess, unless she was like, I'm not going to like, screw you. It's him. Like, let's just keep on going. So I do know there's a lot of shady things that happen when you have a lot of money where you can open up multiple companies and put it to your spouses and your children and your things. And they kind of just use your name. But yeah, like Nat said, I mean, was he a gajillionaire when they got married in 2020?
I don't think, I'm sure he had some money, but like, I don't think it was like this. And, and I think it's hard for her too, because I spoke to her a while back and she said, I am like the face of this, like, because I'm on TV and everybody sees what I have, what I don't have. And, instead of going after her ex-husband, they're going after her. So I don't know.
And they're still married, Christina.
They are.
They're still married, but he's not coherent, or he's not well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. I mean, I'm not envious I don't want to be her.
No, I don't want to be her either.
I would not want to. And she just was like, yeah, no problem. Like she seems cut out for it. If anyone seems ready for it, it seems her. She seemed unbothered by it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, during the season, she admits that she's drinking a little bit and she's taking these antidepressants, and the two of them are not mixing well together. And she has had some choice words for some of her cast members this season, including Crystal Minkoff. And she actually apologized for making some comments about her eating disorder. She said Crystal has told us about it, and she's been very open on Instagram and social media about her eating disorder. And when I was going through my mental health stuff, I reached out to a psychiatrist to help me. I reached out and got treated. I couldn't understand why Crystal, when I asked her, she said no. So she said that it was interesting to hear Crystal's story. Crystal, for her part, did point out that she did seek help and it's an ongoing thing. And she was not upset about Erika's reaction. So I don't know if you saw what Erika said to her, basically being like, if you should eat something and then take some laxatives and that'll be better for you, and not to eat the chicken fingers or whatever they were serving. So it was a very uncomfortable situation, but Erika was like blackout drunk in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, I think that eating disorders and the fact that like Crystal has been able to come forward and talk openly and honestly about it is refreshing, especially because that's not something I feel like a lot of the housewives like discuss, even though sometimes you're just like, I mean, how did they all look like this, and the pressures and everything. So it's refreshing that Crystal is open about it. Eating disorders, or, it's such a touchy subject, and it's absolutely something not to joke about, especially someone that's going through it.
Mm-hmm. And especially with the demographic that watches the show too, which is often a younger, like it's still people who, maybe don't have the whole scope of all of like, they think that's life every single day, not an edited version of like their lives. And, if you're telling people basically how to eat, like take laxatives, I mean, it's pretty like, it's can be triggering. It can be like, but I never knew you could do that. I should like advice for some, and a lot of people with eating disorders or disordered eating are in recovery for life. Like it's not something that you kind of get over. It's something that you are constantly having to check yourself in about. And, something like that could trigger you again and be like, oh my God, am I, especially on national TV.
Right, on TV. Mm-hmm, definitely.
Yeah. Like national, like the world.
Mm-hmm. And Crystal, it is an ongoing thing. And she is talking to someone and she has talked to someone. And at the end of the day, like, even if she's blackout drunk, it's none of your business,
right. No, definitely.
So.
Well, keeping in Beverly Hills, I'm so excited that Kathy Hilton is back on our screens. She offered a glimpse of what Bravo viewers can expect on this Aspen trip that everybody's been talking about. She told us, I can't go through exactly what happened. I said some things because I was just venting in a personal conversation with someone and it was not filmed. I was frustrated. There's no excuse for it. She thought it was a private conversation and she just wanted somebody to say, look, you two love each other. Everything will be fine. You're just overtired. She was talking about her sister, she and her sister, Kyle Richards. So I don't know, something bad happens. I have no idea what happens and what was said, but I like the two of you said, it's got to be hard filming with your sister or somebody you're really close with, because this can definitely pull apart a relationship, which we saw with Kyle and Kim back in the day. And now hopefully it doesn't happen with Kyle and Kathy.
And now Kathy's like iconic, like, on TikTok, like she's like iconic. Like it's kind of like even if she did something terrible, it's like, she's almost untouchable. Cause now with like when the franchises started, there wasn't as much social media. Like it wasn't this like, so you can create favorite characters now based on social media. And I feel like Kathy Hilton's untouchable. Like everyone's just kind of like, Beverly Hills. She owns all the restaurants, guys.
Lisa Vanderpump.
Lisa Vanderpump can do no wrong. Like, they've kind of like, and Heather Dubrow, I feel like they all have reached a status of like fabulousness that you can't touch them. So I would, that'd be a hard season to be on with her because she will win she will come out on top no matter what she does. She will never be a villain. I think she will continue to be the favorite. Like, oh my God, she's a hero.
Well, the only shitty thing for her though is like once you become a part of these shows, I mean, you should still be able to have your personal conversations. You should still be able to talk to people that are close to you. Like I can't imagine the amount of secrets and private conversations that Kat and I have. If those were exposed, I mean, I'm talking about talking about my personal life, my marriage, my family, everything. Like if that was exposed, that's not okay. You should be able to have these private conversations with the people that are close to you without them like getting out there. But I feel like when you're a part of the show, it's like there's not a word that couldn't be exposed that isn't going to be like on a public forum somewhere sometime soon.
That's so true. You always have to be cautious of the hot mic situation. I mean, we saw that on Salt Lake City last season with Lisa Barlow. I mean, private conversations aren't always private.
Do you know how many times we've been mic'd and forgot we're mic'd and then gone to the bathroom and had no, we are kind people. So we've never talked ill of people. But like, even just down to like your personal, like, oh my God, that like, personal stuff going on even with your body. There's like, and you're like, oh my God, my mic is on. So if you had something to say about someone, it would be so bad.
You're like, oh my God, I just farted and it's on. I'm like, Kat, oh my gosh, you're But Kat and I are really lucky, Christina, because we have a secret language that nobody knows. And we were talking literally, not our husbands, not our children, only a couple of friends from high school know it. So when we want to talk behind someone, like if we were Kathy and we were having a private conversation, like you'd have to hire the world to try and translate that. So when we really have some juicy secrets, we have a secret language.
I love that. That is a smart thing to do. Very, very smart. All right, well, let's move on to our real talk. And we caught up with Cynthia Bailey, who opened up about her thoughts on this season of Atlanta and if she would ever return to Atlanta or maybe even Beverly Hills? Take a look. You know, obviously Atlanta's airing right now, but did you miss not having the cameras around, or was it kind of refreshing to being like, I don't have a camera in my face when I wake up in the morning?
It was very refreshing, to say the least. You know, again, you know, love the platform. You know, it was so great, so many unforgettable memories. But I follow the show kind of, you know, from the clips that I see on Instagram. You know, they show all the, you know, the highlights of what's happening. And every time I watch it, I'm like, woo, thank you, Jesus.
Like, I am happy I'm not in this.
It's so fun after 11 years to just watch it, like, and just be able to enjoy it like you guys do. Like, I'm not a part of it. You know, I'm in a great place with all the ladies. Like, I'm just not a part of it. And it's, you know, at first it was like, you know, when it first came on, I was like, oh, wait, I'm really not on this show anymore. And then it was like, wow, this is cool. Cause now I find myself, you know, just kind of following it. Like, ooh, let's see what's going to happen next week. And then, you know, messy and juicy is like, oh my God, what's going to happen? So it's kind of fun to kind of watch it as a spectator.
I'm sure it's got to be a completely different experience for you watching it as a spectator. But what do you think of this season? I mean, obviously Kenya and Marlo are going at it. It's getting really heated. I mean, do you think it's still a good season?
You know what? You know, the show will always go on. I will say, you know, because again, I'm friendly with all of the ladies. I don't like watching. I feel like it's just going kind of below the belt, like in a lot of ways. And I really enjoy seeing the ladies really have a good time. Now, you know, we're here for the light shade and all of that, but it just feels like it's starting to be just a little mean. Like, I'm like, hey, what is happening? And that's always, you know, we've had seasons where it went kind of dark. And I always, you know, the feedback from the fans was always like, okay, we like, you know, to see all the drama, but usually they don't respond to it when it gets super dark. And I feel like it's like, hey, we got to lighten this thing back up, you know.
Right. Yeah. I know that there's always been talk about you possibly joining the cast of Beverly Hills. Has that, you know, have those conversations manifested at all? Is that something that maybe in the back of your mind, if you decide to return to reality TV, that maybe would be the avenue that you decide to go down?
You know what? I'm not close to it, but it's just not something that I'm focused on right now, whether it's Beverly Hills, Atlanta. I'm still on my break. Like, it hasn't even been a year yet. Like, I need a break right now, because when I do it, if I ever do come back, whether it's whatever franchise it is, you know, I could decide to move to Dubai in a couple of years. I don't know.
I would love that too.
Exactly. You know, in terms of whatever it is, I just want to be able to come back refreshed and, you know, just in a happier place, and just, you know, just less heaviness of filming. I think that, you know, I don't ever want to rule it out, because I just honestly don't know how I would feel in a couple of years, to be honest. But for now, I'm really enjoying my break, and I'm really enjoying focusing on the acting.
So would you ladies like to see Cynthia Bailey return? Would you like to see her maybe transition to Beverly Hills since she moved to Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Okay. I like when they do that, when they go, and I think there should be more moving. Like, I feel like they should take some of the, and like, you know, like wife swap them, but not really like do the whole family swap, because I feel like they all in their series, they become characters and they start to live in that character world. So I feel like they need to add in some of the like, just swap them, and then, you know, take some Utah, some like shake them all up and throw them somewhere. Oh God, they should do like a Survivor, like throw all of these housewives,
like different girls trip
places, and go put them on a girls trip. Like all of that. I would watch that.
They have gone on the girls trip, but it should be one of those like, will the marriage last? Right. Like, and they have the husband, and then oh my God, that would be so, yes, they need to switch this up. Like a bachelor style on like that island, and you put them all together, and there's wife swapping and swinging. Is that a bit much? That might be a bit much.
I love that.
I feel like it could happen very easily. That would be some juicy things. And then they should get some same-sex couples, like, you know, the people who to get some same-sex couples in there and like get them all together. Like, let's do this.
Let's make it very messy and very dramatic.
Yes.
Well, let's get into our Real Housewives Rewind. Talk a little bit about the episodes this week. Out of Atlanta, you know, Atlanta, Dubai, and Beverly Hills is on right now. So which franchise are you loving at the moment?
I said this, I'm a Beverly Hills girl through and through. Like, I know Tamara's coming back to OC, but that hasn't started yet. So like, that will be an interesting one, because that girl just keeps on. I mean, she follows us and we follow her, but I don't know how she's living on the edge, and she just gets more and more fabulous with each. It's so crazy what she's been through. But like, yeah, I'm always a Beverly Hills girl. I love watching Beverly Hills.
And I've just started Dubai, but like, that's going to be it for me. There's nothing that I love more than to see a world that I can't even imagine.
I know the wealth, it's out of control. Like the fashion is so great. Their homes, everything about it. They just had Caroline Stanbury's wedding this week, and just the over the top of the engagement party to the wedding to even like the next day brunch. It's just so over the top.
Oh, you guys now.
I know her husband.
Now you're inspiring me. It sounds like I need to get on to Dubai like yesterday. Like I am like, okay, I'm going to get on to that one.
It is. It's so good. And like you said, Beverly Hills is really good this season. Like we said, Erika is kind of dealing with these demons that she's been dealing with. And then the Sutton and Diana Jenkins drama. What do you think about Diana as a new housewife?
I mean, I like when they're always changing up I like the dynamics. I wonder what it's like though to be the person who comes in like into the already molded group, and then what it's like to be cut. Like, you're kind of boring. You got to go, and then who do you replace, and your families and your children? Like, I really do think about the whole situation, because it's a family situation. When you get into those things. So when someone new comes on, I think it's always interesting, but they do have to bring something. Like, I feel like they're looking for something when that person comes on. It's not just like, you're a really nice person. We really love what you're doing. Come on in. It's like, here we go. Like, that's what they're doing every time. So who are we going with? That's what I'm curious about.
It's so fun to see the reactions of like the original cast and how everyone's sort of like, because the new one always seems to be like everyone's got an opinion, and some of them like her and some of them don't, and then there's like a trio.
Oh, and then someone dated someone a long time ago where they had a thing, and she talked to my husband. Like, it's like, honest to God, there's always a skeleton in the closet when a new cast member comes on.
It is so true, but they bring the drama, and that's what we need, and that's what we like, and that's what we like to see. Kat and Nat, thank you both so much for running down all things Housewives with me. This was so much fun. If you want to tell our viewers where they can get more information about the tour, the podcast, the books, everything, please let them know.
We're Kat and Nat everywhere. Kat and Nat, literally with a C everywhere.
Yeah, with a C, CATANDNAT. It's the Kat and Nat Unfiltered podcast. Everywhere you can find your podcast. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, even Facebook, and we're always updating you on where to get tickets, how to find us, what cities we're coming to. We're on there 24/7, not a day.
And remember,
off.
the show is explosive fun with some explosive fun with a side of male dancers, but who keep their pants on, DJs, and like a live podcast that's hilarious, some audience interaction. It's like a variety show meets a comedy show meets a stripper show. That's kind of what you got all in one. I'm looking for fireworks, but they told me I have to have a firefighter on site if I do that, but I'm open to this.
That could be in 2023. That's what's coming, in fireworks in 2023. Well, ladies, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, and it's always such a blast catching up.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. Thank you.
Bye.
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 Hey everyone, I'm Christina Garibaldi, the host of Us Weekly Celebrity Coverage. Don't forget to hit subscribe for the latest celebrity news, tips, and video. And for much more content, make sure you head on over to usmagazine.com, the official home of Us Weekly magazine.